Hey everybody, I'm Logan Alec. I'm a CPA. A little while back, I made a video about those LT11 notices that are going out right now from the IRS. Those come via certified mail. That's one of the worst notices you can get from the IRS. A link to that video I made about it at the top of the screen. On that video, my friend Carl commented, question, the IRS placed a lien on my property for unpaid taxes from back in 2011. Since the debt hasn't been paid, but the lien was placed, I assume I have no way out of it. Carl, I have some good news for you. Just because the IRS has filed a notice of federal tax lien against you doesn't mean there's no way out of your tax debt. All the lien does, all the notice of federal tax lien is an announcement to the world in public record that you owe the IRS money. Okay? The IRS already has a secret lien, they call it, against you from the moment your tax is assessed. All the notice of federal tax lien does when it's recorded at the county recorder's office and in some instances with the state you reside in, is make this lien that the IRS has against you known to the world. It's a notice of federal tax lien. The IRS technically, legally already has a right to your assets and income from the moment you owe or that tax is assessed in the government's books that you owe them money. Okay? All the notice of federal tax lien does is put the world on notice of that fact. So, Carl, your resources here, your avenues here for getting out of this debt are really the same as anybody else with tax debt, whether or not a notice of federal tax lien has been filed. You have the same resolution options available to you. Installment agreement, partial payment installment agreement, currently non-collectible, offer in compromise, right? All those things are still available to you. One thing I want to note is that you said that this tax debt is from 2011. Now, the IRS only has 10 years from the date that a tax is assessed in order to collect that tax. Now, I'm not sure when you filed your 2011 return, if you just filed that return recently, remember the 10 years doesn't start until the tax is assessed, right? Which is shortly after you file your tax return, or if the IRS filed an SFR for you, a substitute return for you, it's at some point after that date. But if this is unpaid taxes from 2011, right, and you filed your 2011 return in 2012, or maybe this is your 2010 return you filed in 2011, that 10-year statute may have already expired. It may have run out. Now, there are some things that can extend those 10 years the IRS has to collect this debt. For example, when you file bankruptcy, when you submit an offer in compromise, these things extend the statute in varying degrees. But apart from those things, that debt may have fallen off, and the lien should have been self-releasing. The lien should have released as well. Okay, so what I would actually do if I were Carl, I would call the IRS. Or, well, actually, you can't do that as non-professional, but I would just call the IRS if I were you and ask them, hey, this tax debt from 2011, now again, I don't know if it's your 2010 debt assessed in 2011 or if it's your 2011 debt assessed in 2012, I'm not sure, but just ask them about this tax debt. Hey, what's my balance? Do I still owe you guys, right? And if they say, well, no, the tax debt dropped off, then ask them, well, was the lien, what happened to the lien? Was the lien released, right? And if not, ask them why, because it should be released because the IRS cannot collect this tax debt from you anymore. Now, obviously, when the notice of federal tax lien is published, it does have some effects on you. For example, if you're going to go sell a house, right, and you have that notice of federal tax lien, that's going to come up in the title search. And the IRS is going to get their share of the proceeds before you get yours, right? The filing of the notice of federal tax lien does have an effect when it comes to the discharge of tax debt in Chapter 7 bankruptcy, and it also affects the classification of your tax debt in, say, a Chapter 13, which can make it a bit more difficult for it to be completely discharged in a Chapter 7 or categorized in the most favorable way in a Chapter 13. That is more stuff on the bankruptcy side. You talk to a bankruptcy attorney about that stuff, but I do want you to make you aware of that. But in terms of your core question, Carl, since the debt hasn't been paid, but the lien was placed. I assume I have no way out of it. No, I would really question that assumption. Carl, make sure you understand what a notice or federal tax lien is and what it isn't, and make sure you understand the tax resolution options that are available to you. If you're not sure what those are, check out my video at the upper left-hand corner of your screen. I go over all the basics of tax resolution, all the ways you can get tax debt relief. And if you'd like to speak with us for a free consultation here at Choice Tax Relief, give us a call, 866-8000-TAX. That's 866-8000-829. Or fill out the form at choicetaxrelief.com, and we will reach out to you. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.